Okay, students, we're going to go ahead and show you how to do a couple of these problems on piecewise. If I have something like f of 4 here, what this 4 is it is the x value. Remember, we've gone over that before. So I'm looking for an x value of 4, mark that on my axis about there, and then I just go up or down until I hit my graph, and it looks like I would hit my graph there. One thing to notice, though, is this is an open circle. If that would have been a closed circle, my answer would have been -2, but since it's an open circle, there's not actually a point there. So this is being a little tricky. The correct answer to this one would actually be undefined, because there is no point defined at that open circle. So anytime you're trying to go to a graph, always try to go to a closed circle, and the open circle doesn't count as part of the graph at all. Now, if I would have had something like, let's say, f of 1, in that case, I would have gone to x is 1. I would have dropped down, and since that's a closed circle, my answer would have been -4. But if I have something that hits an open circle, or even if I had something like f of 2, you notice for f of 2, a value of 2 doesn't hit anything going up or down. That also would have been undefined. So I hope that helps you understand when some of these may be undefined. I'll work another example in a second. Okay, on this problem, we're evaluating still, but they've given us an equation instead of a graph. So to evaluate f of 5, I first have to decide which of these rules I use. Well, 5 is definitely greater than or equal to 5. So the rule I'm going to use is this one over here. Remember, this is my domain restriction. This is my rule. So I'm going to use this rule here. So f of 5, I would come up with a 6, since that's in my bottom rule. And I would replace the x with a 5. So 6 times 5 minus 28. Then I would just simplify that. 6 times 5 is 30 minus 28. My answer on that should be a 2. Now, one thing that undefined is sitting there again. I'm going to just show you real quick what it would do if I was evaluating something like f of -2. Well, f of -2, I say, which rule do I use? Well, it looks like you might be using this rule up here for f of -2. But the only problem is there is no equal to. So that would have an open circle at -2, and an open circle would not count as part of a graph. So this would actually be undefined if I had something like f of -2. It would also be undefined if I had something like f of 0, because 0 is neither less than -2 or bigger than 5. So if you have something that doesn't fit either of your rules, that means your function is undefined at that point.